Well, hello everybody, and welcome to something very much different, I'm sure, to Tiny Rogues. But yeah, I honestly was kind of feeling about doing something different. I will be also completely candid on the fact that I've been playing a lot of Stellaris on my own, so I was like, why not just record it as well? And so here we are. Yeah, so if you don't know what Stellaris is, uh you're lost, to be honest. I've been sitting here trying to think of like a way to describe this. It's 4X grand strategy in space. Oh, beyond that, it is honestly very hard to tack down because the sheer amount of stuff you can do is astronomical. Hilarious. But I mean, if you want to have like the best way to nail this down is basically you play as a spacefaring empire. Your specific setup is you're always you have just kind of settled yourself into space flight, and you're now just a wee baby in the grand old sandbox of galaxy. So good luck. Don't get eaten by the locals, and figure out what in the world a wormhole is. Have fun. Yeah, there you go. But ultimately, the way that you kind of build this game up is you end up building a faction or not. You could just play one of the very, very boring presets. I mean, honestly, they're really, I hate to say that way, but like they're very good for learning the game. But they also don't let you play with a lot of the more fun mechanics, such as in no short form, editing your race's traits, choosing from a wonderful selection of appearances, choosing a unique-ish origin, which gives you some starting benefits and sometimes not. Debuffs as well happen. Choosing your government's ethics between their, well, literal ethics and their civics, which the civics stand for basically a couple different benefits you could have. There's a whole wide range of them that do all manner of different things. But slap that all together, design what your ship looks like, and off you go. You build the world, or the galaxy, the world. Yeah, no, the galaxy itself. You have a whole bunch of different selections for that. Honestly, not going to get into most of the setup for that because, yeah. And once you're all done with that, you just hit the big old start button and go. All right, and we're in. Look at what I created. These little monsters are gonna destroy everything eventually, aren't they? Oh, you just know it. Uh, but yeah, this is the start. One big thing to really to start with is you should always look into your research. Uh, the best way to describe how research breaks down in this game, as you can see, is basically everything boils down into three separate categories, and every time you research one of these things, you get a new selection of traditionally three, but I have it up to where I'm getting 4 points each time that we're doing a research, so that's the best way I can describe it. Is it's a very simple system. It looks confusing, just like, well, how do you know what goes into what? Random. It's the way that, so every single time a run feels a little bit more unique, where you're not entirely sure what you're going to get in the early game, so you got to pay attention and be ready. And next thing I'm doing here real quick is I'm double checking on what is essentially our liege. So the start that I took made us a vassal immediately under what is an advanced AI liege, which just means they started with an advanced start. They have a lot of tech, and you can see he's got like a couple little buddies around him, so I'm just double checking a couple things there before we get started, because it's a little important to know how things are going to go in the future. Trust me. Next order of business is handling our economy. So you start with not a lot of resources, you can see at the top there. And what we have to really do is you have to be very, very frugal with what you're trying to go after. Personally, from my experience, going after immediate like mineral deposits so you have more minerals to build more stuff quicker works better than anything else. So that's why I'm immediately going for that. But yeah, you have to be very, very picky early game. And now I'm going through and just, being a very nice little vassal and making sure I'm being friends with everybody else real quick. It's a good early idea that, you're starting right next to like 5 AIs. Maybe just be just a tiny bit friendly, just a little bit. Even if you designed, for some weird reason, a xenophobic reptilian state, don't worry about it. It'll make sense later, I'm sure. But yeah, just making sure that everyone's happy while we're under the same liege is a decent idea. I don't need anyone turning around and trying to punch me in the middle of anything. So furthermore about our start with being vassal liege is that at the start I get to choose what is called a specialization for my vassal state. And as you see here, I'm kind of contemplating a couple options, and I'm going to go with Stellaris because Stellaris is essentially a build for getting research with a couple malices on top of it, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to build a research state, and I'm going to go with it. Oh boy, I'm going to go with it. So here's a simple breakdown is essentially how planets work, is every planet has districts and buildings. Districts are your simple resource buildings, such as, energy, mining, food, and simple industry, and then your buildings are like your specialized buildings, and it's good to get a good balance between them. Like, just having buildings is not always a great thing. Covering your bases is usually a lot smarter, as you'll see here.
Situation log.
And as you heard the announcer say, the situation log updated. Essentially, situation logs are just where your little quote-unquote mini quests are at, any points of interest, or basically anything in that grouping. So it gets updated over time, but it's not really a big feature of the game. It's just like, hey, this is a thing you should probably do, maybe.
Situation log updated.
Oh. Well, gee, thanks, Overlord Sir, for giving me negative happiness. I appreciate it a lot. So as you're seeing here, we're surveying sectors, and the breakdown as to how you expand in this game, or at least early game, is you have to survey the sector, then you have to send a constructor bot to then build a star base, which costs alloys and influence to take over. And alloys, you just make those. Influence, you just earn over time, and it's a very special resource, and it's mostly your stopgap for doing most expansion stuff. Wait, what? Okay, hi. Could you leave, please? What are you even doing? I don't think I've actually had this quest before. What is this? Just spawns enemies in the middle of your starting zone? Oh, that's kind of annoying. It's a good thing it's such a very, very tiny fleet, but geez Louise. Okay, I'm awake, I guess.
Shipwreck study.
Ooh, ding. Okay, so welcome to another mechanic in, honestly, a lot of 4X/Grand Strategy games. Traditions! If you played Civilization in any manner of aspect, you know exactly what these are. If you don't, basically think of it as, over time, you're earning a resource to then dump into these specialized bonuses that kind of more or less flesh out what you want to be doing through the rest of your game. And what we end up taking at start here is Discovery, because it's science-focused. Wow, who would have thought that the science faction would take the science focus? Weird, right? But they've all boiled down to a lot of different little things, and they're not, like, massively game-changing, but they definitely do make a huge difference over time. So it's a good idea to, like, look into them, read up, and figure out what you kind of want to do. Also adapt over time. You might not want the same things later in the game, if, say, you run into a situation where suddenly what you had gone for initially was no longer viable. So yeah, you just change, and, well, don't change them at all, but you just pick a different option and keep going. So what you might be noticing is all through this, there's going to be quite a few, shall we say, editorial jump cuts. I love Stellaris. I think it's a wonderful, fun game that, still has my attention years later. I dropped it for a long time and recently just picked it back up, which is, welcome to the addiction again. But even I recognize there's a lot of downtime in this game. And to be completely honest, I'm not going to bore you all with that downtime, so you're mostly just going to see me jumping point to point between things that are a little more interesting to look at. And hopefully that gives you a grander idea of what's going on, rather than just kind of, hour 10, he's still sitting at the starting zone.
Project concluded.
So I just noticed that our consumer goods aren't going up, and you kind of need these for a couple projects, so don't mind me. I'm going to go waste money, buy some, and, get some other very important things, such as expanding, underway. Because go figure, even the colonists on a colony ship need something to do on their way off to, colonizing a new planet. I can't blame them, but, man, it's expensive early.
Construction project concluded.
Another ding means another tradition. Neat. Build faster, you nerd. Oh man, colony ships take forever to build, which I mean is the point. They want to, slow down your growth a little bit. You don't want you expanding super fast, super early. It all makes sense, the grand scheme. It's just I'm staring at this going, man, go!
Research concluded.
Ooh, is that actually our first research done now? Nice. Don't worry, they'll be coming a lot faster the sooner we get through here. But as you also notice now I have 5 options to pick from. With how this is going to get built, don't worry, I'm going to have a lot of options every single time. I think the way that I have this set up, I could get somewhere to a max of 6 or 7 research alternatives, which, yeah, more options just means I have more of a chance to get what I personally want in the moment. So it's a smart and fun build, in my opinion. Smart, hilarious. It's literally the research run. Nice, good job, brain. Excellent. Next one down. And honestly, from this selection, I'm gonna be completely honest. Researching faster is a good idea. Oh, I don't actually know this event at all either. Given what this looks like, I think this is part of the Stellaris stuff. So, yeah, I got no idea. I guess it's go get a random research anomaly and see what happens. You get a lot of things out of anomalies, so I don't know really what to expect out of this. Although, actually, not thinking about it, didn't... Yeah, no, wait, the Stellaris mentioned something about caches and getting research. Is that how they make up for me having to pay my liege a whole bunch of my research to begin with? Huh. Kind of a smart idea, honestly. I have to still wonder, what pays out more? The caches or just having research myself? Man, I really want to build something right now, but gosh, my economy is still not in a very good spot. I mean, it's not, okay, it's not in a bad spot. It's just, it's early, and I'm getting... Anxious is the wrong word. I'm getting impatient. Look, brain, I know, you like to build the new shiny things and have all the stuff set up early. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. You don't need it, you don't click it. But okay, we could actually use a little bit more minerals, so maybe build a mineral deposit. Good idea.
Research concluded.
And that marks our 3rd research. Wait, is that what I think it is? It is gene clinics. Yay! Oh, early gene clinics is always great. So the one thing I love about gene clinics is they are a building you can build, and they just make pop growth even faster on that planet. I love them. It's great. Best building. 10 out of 10.
Science ship sustaining damage.
Who dares? Alright, so one massively important thing to learn about space, not everything is friendly. There are some just straight up natural things out in space that don't like you, and they will punch you. And it's not even that. I mean, sometimes you just run into a space whale, and the space whale is just angry. Go figure. Don't go near the space whales. But don't worry, science ships usually get out of it pretty safe. They're designed to be fast and have higher chances of just disengaging from combat, so good on the science ship. Good boy.
Construction project concluded. Receiving transmission.
Oh goodness. The other nice benefit of being a vassal under an advanced AI liege? Money. All the research and trade deals with them? Excellent. Gotta keep me afloat for a while.
Initial colonization.
Hey, new planet for the lizard people. Excellent. So colonies start out with like basically nothing on them. Go figure. And you have to build up the entire thing from square up. So you definitely don't want to expand too quickly, too early. You want to pay attention to how your own growth is going, because if you establish a couple too many planets too early, that's a lot of maintenance to handle. Not to mention, just about everything has energy upkeep, so you're going to have no energy credits, you're going to need way too many minerals to build everything, and everyone everywhere wants food! So, curb your appetite, claim some zones with planets on it, and sit on them for a while, and just pay attention to your natural, you know, colony growth. Also build gene clinics, always. Ding! Alright, so another thing I've not really got over yet with, these traditions here and why I'm focusing on one specific one is filling out an entire tradition gets you access to what's called basically an ascension perk, which is a reward for completing a tradition, and then you get to select from a list of basically just super rewards. There's a couple in there, we'll get to them eventually, but yeah, that's primarily the reason why I focus down one tree and then move to the next one. I like to get my ascension perks. They're nice. I know there's strategies that also like not doing that and spreading out as quickly as possible through a whole bunch of different traditions to get other bonuses, but personally I want the whole check mark just filled. Yeah. Ooh, is that an archaeological site? So close. Oh, that is very tempting. I want that. So archaeological sites are special little event chain zones that you can only activate while they're inside your zone of influence. And what you essentially do is you send a scientist, and they go down and they start cracking on rocks and stuff like that. And they look for anything special. There's a lot of really cool, unique bonuses and events associated with them. So in reality, my cats are fighting. That caught me off guard. But yeah, I want archaeological sites. I think they're cool, and I get very, very unhappy with if the game does not let me have them, and they're everywhere else, because the AI will take them, and you don't get them then, and it's very sad. Very sad day for Potato.
Anomaly.
So yeah, as we're coming up to like the end of the first video here, honestly, I'm just gonna slide in before we finish and just be like, hey, if you like this brand new kind of content, please do let me know. Like the video, leave a comment, ask 50,000 questions, as I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of them, because I could sit and probably try to explain Stellaris for literally 10 hours and there'd still be questions, as my wife tells me. Either that, or it turns out some of you are some resident super Stellaris players and will know things way better than I do. I hope to learn from you. So yeah, if you've got hints, tips, basically any form of advice, I'll listen. I can't promise I'll actually use it, but I'll listen. That counts for something, right? Right.
Initial colonization.
And that's colony number 2 set up, and, well, not ready to go yet, but at least we can start working on it, right? Oh, this whole galaxy is going to be teeming with geckos. Oh, as far as the eye can see. Very smart, xenophobic geckos. Oh, what am I doing? Welcome to Stellaris, folks.
Construction project concluded.
But yeah, that's our first foray into Stellaris. Again, I hope you at least somewhat enjoyed it. This is a brand new kind of experience for me for how I'm wanting to edit things, so consider it, I guess, an experiment. Leave a comment of what you thought, leave a like if you feel like it, and yeah, I'll catch you next time in the next great big adventure in space. So long!